Oh man, the style in which we had to be able to be in this place today and just battle so hard last Saturday in that regional championship. First of all, that's what championship matches we all hope look like, and it just feels every year it feels special. I don't take any year for granted, and this one has those same special, parts to it. But just the grit and the heart. Not that we haven't had to do that every single time in that regional championship game, but it was just really special to do it in the box with the fans. I mean, the box was our seventh man for sure. And it was just amazing. I'll never forget it, and I know these players will never forget that day. It was awesome.
I never saw the attendance come out. Have you heard the attendance for what it was?
Yeah, I think we were around 16 something. So yeah, there's close to 1,700 people in the box. It was awesome.
It was rocking.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Obviously, you guys come up as the 4 seed. Is that kind of where you thought you would fall into the 3 seed?
Definitely, especially with the AVCA rankings and the national polls. I definitely thought that I would, no surprise at all that we're the 4 seed, and it looks to be a really competitive Elite Eight group, as it should be. And we're excited to play kind of the host school in Clarion. They're just down the road, so I think we'll have a really great crowd there too, which, again, that's what you want in these championship environments.
I can't quite remember if it was set 3 or set 4 against DBU, the one where you had, it was 30 to 20.
Yeah.
Was that set 4 or set 3?
It was set 3,
And
31-29.
You guys down 2-1 in that match, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what was that kind of like for the team? Obviously, you guys were down, I think, 27-26 at one point.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And the fight that you specifically saw there.
Yeah, and it's those moments where you don't want to have them all that much. It's pretty stressful, but at the same time, it's really good to experience those moments and have things to fall back on whenever you're tight. And we've had a couple of those moments throughout the season, so I think that's where we felt prepared and comfortable there. And both sides ran out of subs, so you saw pieces that weren't normally in the back row, pieces that weren't normally in the front row, and I'm really proud of how our girls handled those moments whenever we didn't have our full normal lineup in. And so again, those moments are things that we even came back to on Saturday, and I think we're going to have those times where we got to come back to those, when we're at the Elite Eight.
Clarion, have you had a chance to look at it yet? How do you like that matchup?
Yes, they have a really good setter, one of the best setters in the country, running the offense. She's running a 5-1, and she's super physical at the net. And they've got an outside that has 4.5 kills per set. So just statistically on paper, you see where their strengths are. And yeah, we're in the middle of watching them pretty deep right now. And so at this time, I think any matchup is going to be a good matchup when you're the final 8 teams. And so we're just going to do our process that we normally do and make sure we find any leaks or holes that we can find, and also anticipate some of the things that they saw in us from this past weekend.
What's the plan as far as when you guys leave, when you guys get to Pennsylvania, and how that's supposed to go?
Yeah, we leave really, really early tomorrow morning, and so we'll get to Pittsburgh, probably 2:00 in the afternoon, and just get our grounds. And I want the girls to also be able to experience some things while we're there. And yes, it's a business trip, but I want to make sure we can give them, a great experience of things that don't have to do with volleyball as well. So we're really excited.
When you play a match like that against MSU Denver on Saturdays, was that a really good preparation match for what you might see in the national tournament?
I think so. Those matches, really fortunate that we came on the winning side of it, obviously, but for some reason you just leave feeling like closer, and the trust, like if we had some trust before, we've got an exponential amount of trust now. And so I'm very, very grateful that we experienced that. And, I got to give props to both MSU Denver and DBU. Those were incredible matches. And I don't know, it was just really fun to be a part of.
You said your 3rd trip in a row obviously makes it a little easier. What things have you learned from your first 2 trips that you're talking about?
Yeah, I think the logistics side of things, being able to manage your time well, understand that you don't have to do it all at once and you can break up your day. And so that's what I appreciate about it. When you get that coach's packet that's like 45 plus pages, big, you're kind of like, where do I begin? And so it's nice to have some familiarity there. And I think with us being able to just be calm, it allows the girls to be calm. If your staff isn't scrambling and making sure you're organized, it does. It trickles down to the players. And so I do appreciate being able to go, okay, this is what it looks like. This is how we can break it up.
I asked you this question after the game on Saturday, but when you go to a national tournament like this and you see how your depth performed against MSU Denver, how important is your depth going to be in this national tournament?
Right. This morning, we very much limited some reps for some, but our depth was definitely a key part of making sure everybody still feels loose and free. Because if we learned anything, anybody's number can be called at any moment. One, to give somebody a breather, whatever the case may be, that 126 is so apparent. And the depth, not just physically, but our bench did some amazing things with some players coming off the court, on and off the court, during the MSU match when things got tight. We had a couple players that had to kind of reel themselves back in or just let themselves, take a moment. And I haven't seen a bench so involved on how they were going to just, hey, this is what we're going to say to her. This is what we got to ensure her. We got to let her know that we trust her. And it was pretty powerful to see. It was really cool to see as a coach that there were so many girls just wanting to help empower and make girls be able to reset.
Kind of tie into that, Carly Evans is one of those players that when I'm back and was the highlights and watching videos, like, man, she just came off the bench and always had a high energy.
Yeah, she's finding that fifth-year senior gear. That clock might be ticking, but it's ticking for her in the right way. You can just tell everybody does a great job at shrinking their focus at game time, but Carly's definitely reeling it in, and it's fun to see her go at it. And so, yeah, but Carly was definitely one that I think at moments carried the team on their shoulders, but it was cool. There was different moments that Emma Becker did in a big way second set, but I need to give a shout out to Cammie Jones. She came up with some clutch blocks in set 4, a set-ending kill. And so it was really cool to see different pieces just contribute at different times. And that's a tough team to beat, and I love that we can just call anybody's number at any time. I think that's so special.
And for you, how special to see it, your team, if they get down, to stay calm and just bounce back like nothing.
Right. And that's, you got to train that, everybody speaks about it. Stay calm, keep your composure, but you got to experience it and be able to go, okay, this is the moment we've been talking about all year long. Like, we talk about these moments, and for really, just to take a deep breath and truly reset and understand that each point holds the same value of 1, and sometimes as teams you can make 1 point feel like 5, and it's not that way. It's truly 1. So the style of points don't need to weigh heavier or be lighter than any other. So that was true. That was a true showcase of managing that well this last Saturday.
Yeah, we kind of talked about this on Saturday off camera, but this third year in a row you played in this year, it's your time in the regional final. Which was this the hardest one?
Yeah, it was harder in different ways. We were always the underdog the last 2 years, and so there's some freedom there, and we don't want to play into the the optics and the storylines too much, but you're aware, as much as you don't want to make it a thing, and so that was a little different. And also, we don't want to let our hometown down. We didn't want to let the community down, so I think that could have added a little bit of us wanting to play a little bit too perfect rather than just being able to, understand a point as a point. But I don't know, each of them have had a different element of just true toughness to it. The first year we had a reverse sweep in order to be able to go to the Elite 8 as the 7th seed, and that was crazy. I think that was a big turning point where the girls looked at each other and were like, wow, we believe. And then last year to be able to come in so strong and do it in a sweep, but it, when you look on paper, it wasn't really a sweep. It was a tough match, but this one I think emotionally was definitely, I think, the hardest one.
Who are some of the other teams at the Elite 8 that you expect to be challenging on the way? Obviously, I think that's kind of a silly way to phrase it.
For sure.
But who are some of the teams that you can really point to and say some things about as far as that talent?
Right. I don't want to overlook our first opponent in Clarion. That's who we're focusing on with Clarion right now, and understanding they've earned their right to be there, and no one needs to look into a strength of schedule and think a weaker region. That's not going to be in our vocabulary. And so that's the first team. But obviously the teams that are ranked ahead of us in Tampa, Missouri St. Louis, and Wayne State, all of them are incredible teams. And I think Cal State LA, they're definitely a team that no one you can sleep on. Like you said, it's a tough question to answer whenever you're in the final 8. But I'm really excited to see some really good volleyball and to showcase the highest level of Division II volleyball in the country. That's just really excited, and I know we are all going to represent Division II volleyball really well.
I think